Hello and welcome to all you Geminis. Welcome for your monthly horoscope for you in general for the sign of Gemini in November 2016. Interesting month. Interesting month for Geminis. It's a bit of everything, and that's what Geminis like. A bit of everything, so it's not boring, because I think the least boring sign is Gemini. You know, they're so clever and smart and funny. And intellectual. So, intelligent, I mean. What's happening? Two big things. First of all, there is this, how would I put it? There is this Jupiter-Pluto square that I already talked about last month in October. This Jupiter-Pluto square is getting exact now. And this is about deep growth. This is about deep, permanent, profound growth. And for all of us, and I'll talk about for what in particular for you, and a very interesting area, by the way. And it is now associated with, Venus. Venus is playing now the big role here this month. Last month it was Mars, but now it's Venus, which is our values, which is what we love, what we like, love in general, but it's also about what we like, what we dislike, our talents. And this Venus is going to connect with Pluto. So you feel that throughout the whole month, especially from the 13th. It's exact around the 24th, 25th that Venus is together with Pluto. And then it's going to square up to Jupiter. So what does it mean? It means that this Venus-Pluto getting together in your 8th house, the house... so Venus and Pluto together, it's very intense and very transformational. The 8th house is also very intense and transformational. So there's something happening with the Geminis during the month of November that is transforming them. It could be a person, it could be a new interest of love, it could be a new interest of a hobby or a work or a project that you're doing. And that is going to transform you more than you thought before. Because first it might have started as something very playful, because Jupiter is in the house of play, which is in your 5th house of Libra. So that is fantastic. You know, it's the 5th house is not only the house of romance, it's also the house of your expression and of your children, but also your new projects, a business that you want to start up. That's all 5th house. So there is this energy between this 5th house and the 8th house. So for some of you, you might start, some of you who are single, for instance, might start a new relationship. There is this like very joyful love interest, and it becomes way more intense. A tiny little bit obsessive, almost, you could say, with Venus, Pluto there in the 8th. If that is the case, let go. Just give the other person a bit of space, please. But that will be no problem for a Gemini. But... so don't try to manipulate in love and in the intimacy, you know, because that's going to backfire. Just try to be open, try to be very authentic, and it might be the love of your life with this constellation here. But for a lot of you, it will have to do with a project, or it will have to do with a business you want to start, or it will have to do with some sort of creativity that you're expressing yourself in a way which is very joyful and you like it and it's nice. But at the same time, it's transforming you totally. Your values can transform absolutely upside down because of what you enjoy and what you are experiencing there. So on another level, it can mean that you are going to get a present from someone, and that totally changes you. A present, material or not material, or some emotional support from someone, and that it really is like, this is something that, wow, touches you very deep. So it can be a gift of someone. Also for intimacy, it's very good for intimacy. For those of you who, who are in a relationship, it can mean more intimacy, more trust, but maybe first going through a bit of a fear barrier there, especially the ones who start a new relationship. There can be a bit of a fear barrier of opening up to one another. And I'm not talking about sexually here only. I mean, it's more about your vulnerabilities, showing your vulnerabilities. And because you do that, you kind of transform. And oh, it wasn't so difficult. And oh, I get a lot of your heart chakra is opening, in other words. So it's very, very nice for you Gemini if you work positively with that Venus-Pluto. Venus-Pluto negatively would be if you want to control things, if you want to manipulate, if you really want someone and you're doing everything you can to seduce, do or whatever. It's not going to work. It's going to backfire. It can also mean that your loved one goes, if you're in a relationship, your loved one is going through a big transformation, and therefore you feel that you're more valued in a way. So very interesting, and at the same time there's another interesting aspect going on for you, because at the very end of the month, at the 29th, there is a new moon in your 7th house of relationships. So there's like a new start there. Maybe an ending for those who have very bad relationships, but you know, kind of you start on a new level. And also Mercury crosses as from the 13th already, crosses your 7th house of relationships. And that means that you want to understand that other person. You want to communicate with them, and seriously, because that Mercury will bump into Saturn there in your 7th house. So serious talks with people, with special people in your life. That can be a very serious talk, a very but that is also connected to your work, because it squares also up to Neptune. So maybe you're going to work with someone, and that is a part of you transforming and having some more enjoyment than normal. Maybe you're gonna work with someone and it's about deep stuff that you are communicating about, but it's also about healing stuff, and it could be about you know, the Neptune and the Chiron in your 10th house of work. So it could also have to do with things that are very metaphysical at the same time. So really interesting, you Geminis. I think that's one of my favorite months for signs for the month of November, Gemini, because it's a bit of everything. And that suits you well, as I already said. Thanks you so much, you Geminis. Have a fantastic month. Keep on sharing these videos. I wish you all the best and see you next month. Bye-bye.